Hello there, my name is Jonathan and this is Jonathan's Days. This is a little video podcast where I share about what I get up to with my days, which is mostly knitting. I've been away for a little while, so thank you for all of you who follow me and for your patience while I hung out. And I've just been spending a lot more time making actual things than making videos. But for you, it means that I have a lot to share, and I do plan on getting back into the swing of uploading videos. It probably won't be as regular as I used to, but I do hope that it will be enough to keep you entertained and keep you updated on what I'm getting up to with my knitting and yarny good times. I've also got a microphone, so hopefully the sound will be nice for this one. So bear with me if there's any like scratchy moments where I'm like showing things off or just getting used to it. But cool, so yeah, I will kick off. There's loads of stuff to talk about. I have lots of finished objects, I have lots of whips, and then I have lots of plans as well. And I have some designs to share with you, little sneaky peeks, which I'll do at the end, so stick around for that. You know, while you're here now, why don't you just hit that like button right now, and then we'll watch through, and at the end you'll comment and you'll tell me what you're knitting on, and then you'll already be subscribed because you are amazing. So all the amazing people are. So I will kick off with finished objects. I have a big pile next to me. I will start off with this one, which you've seen before. A lot of these you won't have seen at all. You won't have seen them as whips because I've made them in the last 3 months, so they'll be brand new to you, but I will show you stuff that you have seen some work on. This is the first one I want to show you. It's very big, very long, very wide. So this is my field shawl by Max the Knitter. This one was just about past the center point the last time I saw you, and it is all done, super big. It's super warm and rustic. It is knit out of Rosapomar Brusca yarn. It is with, it doesn't have names, it has numbers, so they'll be on the screen if they haven't been already. I'll give you a bit of a close-up of it. It's just a super simple garter shawl. You start at one end and then you increase along one side and then decrease once you get to the center. It's super, super nice. I do believe this yarn is woolen spun. It's much lighter than worsted spun yarn. So it means it's super warm. It is, I will say it is, you know, I love a rustic yarn, but of all the rustic yarns I've ever used, this yarn, especially the brown color, had more vegetation in it than any yarn that I've ever used. I don't really mind. I just kind of either pull it out as I go or just leave it there and pull it out after the fact. But as in I can still see some in there. So it is kind of something to be aware of. You can see some here. It is something to be aware of with this yarn. If it doesn't bother you, great. It doesn't bother me. And the colors are wonderful. Super simple, fun knit. I cast this on because I was pretty, I think like a lot of us, people cast on a lot of garter shawls around the same time. I think it was kind of towards the end of Christmas or after Christmas when we were all getting a bit fatigued from our more complicated knits or from our gift knitting, things like that. So we all cast on garter projects, and you know, there's something fun about garter projects. It lets you do the kind of meditative fun of knitting, the kind of the repeat action that calms us all down is most present in garter stitch projects, I find. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I've been wearing it. I wore it a ton in the colder weather. I wear my shawls a lot at home. They're always just tossed over my shoulders. So one will see me at home with these. As soon as I walk in the door, there's usually a shawl tossed over my back. And yeah, I love it. Highly recommend. Super simple pattern. On Max's original version, he does little tassels at the end, which are quite cute, and I think there's instructions in the pattern to do that as well. And then my inspiration for this pattern was Caleb from Drowning in Yarn when I mean, I already knew of Max's, but then Caleb made his, which was really, really beautiful. And that inspired me to make this one. So yeah, it'd be a nice gift knit as well for someone who, you know, you're not quite sure what to make them. And just, it's kind of like a scarf, but a little more interesting than a scarf. So you can't really go wrong, just 2 colors with a simple stripe. Really, really nice. So highly recommend that. So that's the Field Shawl. It's probably the oldest thing that I had on the needles to show you. And the next finished object is what I'm wearing that I will show you. This is, I'll stand so you can see. So this is my second time making this pattern. This is the Stockholm Slipover by Petiteknit. And I knit this out of raw wool. It's going to be on the screen, what color. And this wool I picked up at Unravel Festival this year. And so I knew I wanted to make this because I wanted to kind of like show off the wool itself, the raw wool. And I just thought like a simple stockinette pattern would be the best thing to do. And then even when I felt it in the skein, this is the DK weight, it almost like had that mohair vibe, like that kind of fluffy vibe. Let me see if I can kind of capture it. It's got like, yeah, little bit of a halo. I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but he's got these like little, they're almost like gray hairs because they just use the natural color of the sheep. This is Wensleydale, I believe. So it's mega soft. It's not like merino soft, but I feel like it has more of a character than merino. I guess it's like not a smooth softness, it's a fluffy softness, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to enjoy the yarn. I just wanted to show off the yarn, which is why I made the Stockholm Slipover, which is a pattern I've made before. The last time I made it with a fingering weight and a mohair, which is wonderful, and I wear it all the time. And I made the large size for that one. I believe this is the medium size. And so, yeah, and it's knit top down. So start at the shoulders and work your way down. So that meant I could kind of lengthen it for my body, which is the nice thing about top down constructions. Then you pick up for the shoulders and the neckline, and tubular bind off on all of those, tubular bind off everywhere. And yeah, it's probably like I wear it 2 or 3 times a week. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I love it because it's a great pattern, and I love it because it's a great yarn. It's nice in the summer because obviously it's like sleeveless, so it's like nice for, you know, an evening. I feel like vests and slipovers are like kind of having a moment. They definitely are for me, as you'll see in some plans later. But yeah, I really enjoyed making it, and I'm obsessed with the raw wool now. I have another project to show you that I made in their yarn, and I have another project on the needles already in their yarn to share too. So I can't recommend them enough. What else do I want to say about this? Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's a super simple knit, the wearable, nice knit. Yeah, it's again, a nice one to make for someone else, a nice wardrobe staple to have as well, I would say. And I bought some other yarn to make another one a while back, which is more knitting for Olive, and that I want to do the V-neck version for that. I've done the round neck these 2 times. So yeah, can't recommend both the yarn. This is the DK weight Wensleydale, and yeah, Petiteknit. We know her, we love her. Our patterns are reliable, and that's why we make them again and again. So we can keep the raw wool train going and the Petiteknit train going for the other skein of yarn that I picked up from the raw wool company at Unravel. And so I made an Oslo hat. This one probably looks different to many Oslo hats because I made it much shorter. So here, if I fold down the brim, so you can see where the increases or decreases, sorry, begin, are like, it should be much longer according to the pattern, and I did it much shorter. The other mistake I made is that this pattern runs super big as far as I'm concerned. The previous one I made, I think I did a medium or maybe even a small size. Or does she do it by gender? I can't remember how exactly she sizes it. But regardless, this one is like the second to largest size, which was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that big. I mean, it's fine. It still fits me, super nice. And I like it a lot. I think it is my preferred stockinette hat pattern. But if I did it over again, I would go down a size, which is what my previous one was. And I always shorten the length in the actual hat, not the brim. And if I'm honest with you, I don't love one of the decreases as well. I probably should change that. I don't like how it looks. It might just be my technique and how I do it, but it's not my fave. So the yarn, this is again Raw Wool Company. This one is a limited edition, so I don't think they have it in stock, and I believe I bought like one of the last skeins that there was. This is, I have it. I mean, it's already been on the screen, but I have it again. So this one was Soft as Sea Mist. This is undyed British Dorset. So this is a Dorset sheep. Woolen spun in Cornwall. Woolen spun in Cornwall. So earlier when I mentioned the field shawl, I meant to say that was worsted spun. I get them mixed up. Anyway, so yeah, not going to spend too much time on this. Wonderful Oslo hat. If you haven't made an Oslo hat before, it is just a super reliable, simple stockinette hat pattern. Very wearable, very giftable, very comfortable. And a pleasure to knit. So both of these I knit kind of in quick succession of each other when I was just having, I don't think my knitting mojo necessarily was down, but my kind of want to knit something super complicated wasn't there. So I just, followed the joy in what I wanted to make in the moment, and that's why I went with lots of like nice garter and stockinette projects that will give me like a nice sense of achievement and be fun and simple to knit. And as I mentioned, I just really wanted to enjoy the wool. You can tell there's lots of love, like the love travels through from those who take care of these sheep to how they are, how the yarn is made and spun and branded and shared, and you can just feel that there's just care and attention from top to bottom. And that's why brands like Raw Wool Company and kind of like Garth and Orr, that those of you know that I like a lot, you can tell like they actually look after their animals, and you can feel it. You can feel it in the yarn. I think so anyway. So yeah, it's another Oslo hat. They were my two raw wool projects, which I loved. Next finished objects, let's do a sock moment. This sock you would have seen already, and I finished it a while ago. I haven't been wearing socks in general. It's been warm in London, more or less. So I've just been wearing like sandals and stuff, or like no-show socks. So my kind of woolly socks I haven't got much wear, but I'm making them. So this one I've worn a couple of times. They're starting to felt, as all my socks do. But you can still see how they look on the little sock blocker. And this one I did. So yes, I did these like a sock tube. So not a full sock tube. I knit the full length of the one sock, and then I did a toe, and then did an afterthought heel, which work super well for me. I've gotten used to kind of like picking up and knitting in that heel. I tend to actually knit out a little bit once I pick up, so it fits me a little bit better. I put extra length in the foot because because I always use non-superwash wool. When it felts, so you can see that it's already felting along the foot. When that felting happens, it shortens the length of the foot, which means for the first couple of wears, it's like a bit long. And then as it felts, it fits more to your foot, which is something that Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fibers, she recommends when knitting with non-superwash wool, and that's something she does as well. So I did that too. And yeah, so this is La Bien-Aimée Twist Nouveau, I want to say. No, it's Mondim. It's Mondim. This is La Bien-Aimée, so it's Mondim yarn dyed by La Bien-Aimée. And this is the color, I want to say it's Sanho. It will be on the screen or have been on the screen, so either I'll be right or wrong. But yeah, it's kind of like this seafoam tealy green with these like rusty spots on it. Yeah, I just like the skein. So yeah, so I finished those a while back, and I've cast on another sock, which I'm gonna say it's finished because I'm literally just about to finish off the heel of the second sock. But I made another pair of the Curio Socks. These are by Andrew Mowry. This is my third pair of these I made. I kind of think of them as being like vanilla plus socks, because all you're doing is just the striping between the like main color and the contrast color with a slip stitch. So it's like it's something you can knit on the go and mindlessly without but being more interesting than just a stockinette tube, because I've been doing a lot of stockinette tubes and I wanted something that had a little bit of interest in it, not just with the technique, but with the color as well, which is why I did this. So the main color is a Mondim as well, one of my favorite sock yarns. And then this contrasting color is Spincycle dyed in the wool. And the color, is it Light Years is the color? I think it's Light Years, again, on the screen. So yeah, I'm just about to finish the second one of these. I have to just kind of do stuff like, you know, go back in, weave in my ends, tidy all those bits up on the inside, and then block them. And that will be those. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to cast on another sock after that. My socks are like my lunchtime knitting, so I want to have something kind of simple and easy to knit on my lunch at work. So it might be another sock, or it might be another project that I'm going to show you later, which is the little design. Okay, so let's keep on going. I have two final finished objects. They're both cowls, and they're both Andrew Mowry patterns. So the problem with cowls is that with my nice little new microphone, the cowl will cover the microphone. So here we go. I'm going to be reporting to you live with my knitting needle microphone setup. Anyway, so this two cowls, next two finished objects are two cowls, both designed by Andrew Mowry and knit up in different wools. So the first one is the DRK Everyday Cowl. Give you a nice look at the stitch pattern. So this came in like loads of different versions. She did a fade version, she did striped, and she just did a plain version. I made mine. Was it in the previous episode, maybe? Maybe in the previous episode, I shared some La Bien-Aimée yarn that I received. And so this is in the Twist Nouveau base. So I held it double to get the DK weight. And I striped the two colors that I got. And the two colors were the inspired by the movie Princess Mononoke, which is a Studio Ghibli film. It's a fantastic film. And I think, was I watching it at the time, or I was about to watch it? I was just like super inspired by the film itself, which is a wonderful film I've seen maybe a dozen times, and the colors themselves, which were absolutely stunning. So just to so the names of the there's a bit of thread on it. So the names of the colors are Mononoke and Evergreen Forest. The Evergreen Forest is obviously the green color, and then the Mononoke color is like the kind of peachy color with like speckles of red almost, but it's kind of like the blood. Is the like just really famous shot of her with like when she does. If you know, you know. But so it is a beautiful, beautiful colors. The yarn is quite soft and fluffy, and the issue I'm having as someone who often has stubble is that when I'm wearing it and it kind of rubs up against my chin, like a day after I've shaved or something, it's getting a bit bobbly and fluffy, but that's fine. It's nothing we can't you know, shave off at a later time, but it is kind of preventing like the kind of graphic nature of it. And why I cast this on was, again, it's similar to kind of all the other things I've mentioned so far that I was working on. I was just kind of following the joy of making where I could find it or where I was feeling it. I didn't want to be making things just so I could post about them or just so I could put them in a video and kind of keep myself to the almost 3-week deadline I was giving myself. I just wanted to knit stuff that like made me happy and made me feel good, and the colors, the yarn, the theme, and the pattern did that for me for this. So that's why I did that. So let me pop it on for you. So here it is. Looks super cute. This is my second kind of cowl of this style. I did the shift cowl by Andrew Murray before, which I absolutely love and I wear constantly. So I knew I would wear this one a lot. And then I've actually done another one, which I'll speak about in a second. And it's probably one of my favorite kind of neck items to wear, like a knit one. I've made more like tubular cowls, I guess. And I like them and I wear them, but these are the ones I reach for. I even, you know, at work in the office, if the like aircon is too high, like this, I always have one of the cowls in my bag so I can throw it on, and just it gives me that little bit of extra warmth and coziness, which I just love, and I love the way it fits on me. This one, I think it is the largest size. Yeah, I'm 99% sure I made the largest size. There's 4 sizes or so. It's a super simple pattern, super simple stitch pattern, really fun. It's similar construction to the shift cowls as well, if you've done those. So it's kind of like knit on the bias, like diagonally, and then you seam it up at the back. Highly recommend these. They're just quick, fun, pleasurable knits. So I like can't stop, won't stop making them. And I love the colors. That, you know, these 2 colors are you know, probably dreamt up at the same time by Aimee, because they are both colors from the same kind of collection. So I just thought it was simple and perfect to just put them together and do that. And I actually wore this when I went to Loop, the knitting store here in London, for the book signing for the new book by Aimee and Lichen magazine, which was the Neons and Neutrals magazine, and I wore this. And so Aimee wanted to see it because they were making kits, so she wanted to see the construction, which was funny that she's like, "Oh, we're doing kits for this. Can I like take a look at it?" Blah blah blah. So it was because I think as soon as it came out, I cast this on, so I was probably one of the first people to make one. But so that was fun. So yeah, so there are kits, not for this color, but I think they've done them maybe with the fades. Yeah, they have kits on Aimee for these, but it is a DK weight, so it's like a really easy weight to kind of use either fingering weight yarns or DK weight yarns. So I really, really liked it. It is a nice everyday pattern. And so, yeah, I love it. Can't recommend it enough. And then on to another cowl. Oh, wait, never mind. One more thing I wanted to mention. Watch out for your I-cord bind off. Mine was way too tight on this, so it ends up being like your neckline. And it's fine because I tuck it under, so it's up there, but I tuck it under to wear it. But mine is really, really tight, and I like have to kind of stretch it over my head. So it's more of a note for me to remind myself to like go up a needle size or 2 when I do that I-cord bind off because it's too tight. But yeah, otherwise, perfect. Okay, and speaking of loop and following joy and all that, in that same moment, I just wanted to keep that train going. I wanted to make whatever was inspiring me, whatever was giving me joy, whatever, when I was falling asleep at night, I couldn't wait to wake up the next day to work on. So that's what I did, and I made myself another shift cowl. This is the second one I've made. The first one I made with Spincycle Nocturne, which is the kind of, it's like the dyed in the wool Spincycle, but on a grey base, a non-superwash grey base. So it is like moodier. And so I wanted to make kind of like the summer, almost bright neon version of it. And that's what I did. So I've been wearing this a ton. So you can see it's curling a bit on the bottom again because of my tie-dye cord bind off. And so let me put it on. Kind of like I'm calling it almost my summer shift. So it's that kind of mosaic pattern that you all know. I feel like most people have made these. I just love it. Can't get enough of it. Again, for all the reasons I said for the previous one, is why I love this one. I wear it all the time, constantly. It's wonderful. Really drapey, a nice, pleasurable knit. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just wonderful, and I love it. And I can show you. I actually have my other one. So this is my old one. This is my first one. So you can tell they almost feel like they're related. Like one is the nighttime version and one is the daytime version. And the colors, I made this one in okay. It's on the screen, so you're like, I can read it, Jonathan. Why am I watching you kind of try and summon them from your mind? But it is Space Oddity, Light Years, which is the same color as in the socks, and one other color that I can't think of. Wallflower or something? Summer Love, maybe? One of those colors. Anyway, super, super fun. I had like 2 of the skeins, and then I picked up the 3rd skein when I was at Loop that time, seeing Aimee. And just follow the bliss, follow the joy of a bright color changing yarn. And sometimes if you're in a knitting funk, I cannot recommend enough getting yourself a bright color changing yarn and knitting something simple and fun that just makes you happy. If you're slogging through that sweater project for your, size, huge person with 100 cables and color work and every brioche, every complicated project, and you just need a break, color changing fun yarns and a simple project is what I recommend. Get yourself some mojo back and treat yourself. And that's what this cowl was for me. And that's what this whole last couple of months have been, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you like my summer shift. It's brilliant. I love it. You got to make one. You got to do it. And yeah, and that's all my finished objects. Lots of them. I've got some fun whips to share with you too. So I'm going to put my microphone, thankfully, back on my t-shirt and get this cowl off and show you all of those. Okay, let's do whips. First of all, we have a new shawl pattern. Well, not new shawl pattern, a new shawl cast on for me. And this, I had planned to make this about a year ago. I do try to buy yarn with a plan, and this is no exception. Again, this shawl pattern was inspired by Caleb from Drowning in Yarn. He was the one who made this pattern and said it was great. And there was also Julia, who works at Lab in Aimee. She made one as well, and I liked them both. And so I wanted to make my own, and it is the Satellite Shawl by Andrew Mowry Moment. So I knew I wanted to make that pattern, and then last summer, I remember very specifically because I was in Mexico, in a rural part of Mexico, trying to find Wi-Fi to purchase the yarn, which is from Big Little Yarn Co., which is Mel's from the Cozy Cardigans podcast, her yarn company. And I bought from the Spooky Summer collection. And I'm actually going to root around here because I think I have, no, I don't. So I don't have the labels, but I will show you my progress so far. So this is it. This is the Satellite Shawl. You get a good look at it. So it is very interesting. Let's look at the wrong side. Shablam. So I think, so I knew, like, it was like a match made in heaven. You know when you like see the yarn, you're like, oh, this is exactly what I think. Like, this is like, will fit perfectly. So the colors are on the screen. So I do know that the this color here is called Hereditary. This is Spooky Summer. So the what do they call them? Not tonal. What's the opposite of tonal? I can't even think of the word. skein is this one here, Hereditary. So you can see it's like all the oranges, greens and blues. And then the garter stripes are in the 3 tonal colors. And so my main color is the light gray, which I have here. Which is beautiful. Then a dark gray. And then the 2 others, are they next to me or are they way over there? They're way over there. But you can see them here. So it is a lighter blue. And then to give you a closer look at Hereditary, I'll flip it over. Yeah, amazing. So this is the right side, and this is what I want. So you can tell it's like garter and then a brioche band, which is super fun. So it's like, again, nice relaxing knit. You do like some garter. These sections here, if you can see in the darker gray, these are done with short rows. So your boy is getting tons of wrap and turn practice with these. And it kind of expands. And so then the brioche, you see that like you use your main color and then the Hereditary color kind of peeks through on the right side. So when it's blocked, it's kind of stretched out, you'll just about see it. But then if you get flips of the wrong side, then you get the kind of really full impact effect. And when it comes to skeins like this, like I don't like pooling necessarily, but I feel like on this, it's quite cool to have the pooling, especially when it's like on the wrong side and you'll only kind of see it peeking through on the other side. So I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm not putting a lot of pressure to get it done because obviously it's a giant shawl on 3.5mm needles. So it's not something I'm doing in a rush. But it is just lots of nice garter stitch and then like nice bands of brioche. And I love brioche. I love it so much. It's so pleasurable to knit, especially this is just straight 2-color brioche. So it's super simple, really like that nice rhythm of brioche that those of us who love brioche enjoy. And yeah, it's going to be a really nice, wearable, fun shawl. So I'm just putting time into it when I feel like it and enjoying it so much. This base is Peruvian fingering weight wool. This is non-superwash. Mel does a ton of bases. I do believe there is another spooky summer collection on the horizon. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me on anything like that. But I do believe she's doing more. I don't know if she's doing brand new colors or if she's going to bring back some old ones. I'm not too sure. But either way, Mel is probably like my favorite podcaster. I love watching her videos and I love her yarn. So highly recommend. And it's funny. Oh yeah. So this is the thing. I'm holding this up. Do you see the painting behind me? Like clearly I was influenced by the painting behind me, but yeah. So absolutely love this. Pattern is really fun and pleasurable. Could even be a nice, good one if you've never done brioche to like try brioche for the first time. And lots of garter. And then just some wrap and turns, guys. Easy, easy. Wrap and turns and garter. Easy, easy, easy. So that is my first whip. Next whip, let's have a look. What do you want to see? Okay, let's chat about this one quickly. You've seen this one before. This one's really been hibernating. I'm surprised, like, I'm not gonna have to blow dust off it, but it's not the fault of the whip. It's my own fault because, well, I just haven't been too inspired to work on it. Maybe pulling it out and showing you will. So this is my Funfetti shawl, Funfetti sweater by Sylvia Cherry. So it's knit in pieces. So I've got all different pieces to show you. First one, this is the back, I believe. Look how wrinkled it is from just being stuck in my knitting bag. So that's the back. That's got to be a back, right? Is it a front? Pretty sure it's a back. Anyway, then I've got the other back or front. I'm up to where you start doing the decreases to shape the armholes on that. And then I've knit, so you're supposed to knit the sleeve flat, but I knit it in the round. And so I've got, oh my God, there's literally a knot in this. Oh no, it's fine. I'm such a bad knitter neglecting this. Then I've got a sleeve. I just need to do, so I've knit this much in the round, so I need to switch to knitting flat to do kind of, so it will be the sleeve up to here, and then I'll do the cap flat essentially, and then it gets seamed together there. So that's where I'm at with this, which means like I've got one more sleeve and a little bit of a yoke, and then all I had to do is seam it up and pick up for the neckline. So there's really not a lot of knitting left in it. I just haven't been super inspired by it, inspired to work on it. And it's also like the weather, like I haven't really worn jumpers very much. So it is beautiful. This is knit in Westwood Tandem, which is their DK weight yarn. I love the colors. So yeah, it's great. Look how much work I've done. I do need to pick it up and finish it because it's great and I think it's going to look great. But yeah, it's a nearly finished sweater that just needs, I would say, maybe a week or two of attention and it will be done. I think, you know, come September, I guess, the weather will turn and I'll just be like super inspired to get that finished. But for right now, it's kind of on hold while I just follow the joy and work on other things. And yeah, still great though, great pattern, great colors, great yarn. It's not their fault, it's me. It's not you, it's me. I just kind of haven't really been inspired to work on it, but it's not, I will come back around to it because I do really love it and want to finish it. So that is my Funfetti by Sylvia Cherry, knit in Westwood Tandem. Other whip, I have one other whip and then the rest is just a little bit of a swatch and then plans as well. And then we're done, guys. So final whip is knit in Knitting for Olive, pure silk. And this is my first time knitting with pure silk. And this is in the colorway Putty, which is 95521. Oh, that's probably the lot number. So yeah, the color Putty, which is just like a cream, nice cream color. I picked this yarn up in Beautiful Knitters in London, which is probably my favorite yarn shop. And I am one skein in of making the Totally Tank Top by Jessie Made Designs. Now it doesn't look very nice because I need to pick up for just to do the ribbing on the sleeves and the neckline. I'm not going to knit it cropped, I'm going to knit it full length down my body, which is why I have like 3 more skeins, which is more than enough, I think, because this is 1 skein worth of knitting for me. So yes, it looks strange right now. I can't even remember what size I'm making. 3 or 4, I guess. I can't remember. So it doesn't look like much. It looks kind of creepy, but it's really fun. It's my second Jessie Made design pattern that I've made. Yeah, and it's great. Very well thought out, very well done. The weather has taken a turn here in London to be just grey and kind of wet and it's kind of warm. So like you don't really want to, like you're not wearing summer clothes really. But when it was quite hot, that's when I was like super inspired to like go for this. But because it's kind of turned a bit, I've kind of stopped for a second. But I do want to do it, get it done. But I want to do the pickups of all the armholes and the neckline before I continue down, because that will affect the fit. It will kind of pull everything up and together. And so I want that to be correct before I keep knitting downwards. But for all intents and purposes, I'm just on the stockinette of the body, and the pure silk is super, super interesting. It's very different on your hands because it doesn't have as much bounce as wool does, but I feel like it's has a little bit more bounce than like linen or cotton, pure linen or pure cotton would, but not as much as wool. So it's not impossible to work on. I don't think it's as hard on your hands as it would be, as the other kind of like alternatives to wool fibers would be, but still feels super soft and nice. So I'm interested to get it done and to get some wear out of it. I think it would be kind of nice just to be wearing kind of, I mean, you can wear it on its own in summer and then wear it under things throughout the rest of the year. So that is my Totally Tank Top by Jessie Made Designs, and that is my final whip. That's all the whips, guys. And so, yeah, it's a lot. So some stuff is kind of like hibernating, and some stuff is like casting on and casting off my needles super quick. I'm just going with what feels good and what feels fun at the time. So I hope it's been interesting for you. I want to talk some plans. First plan is I've got a little bit of a swatch to show you. It's from the Neons and Neutrals book, and it is, I'm knitting it out of 2 yarns. So this is the La Bien-Aimée Como, and this is Durarum Natura Cyrano. So these are the 2 yarns I'm going to use. This one I got from La Bien-Aimé's website. This one I got from Wild and Woolly here in London, another great yarn shop. And I've literally just done the tiniest swatch. Sorry for the clanging. So you can just like that, there's like maybe 4 like rows of the actual, so it's a herringbone stitch, and it's knit on, what size are these? 12 millimeters. They're huge needles, and it's a slipover. I didn't even say what the pattern is. The pattern is called U, like YU. It'll be on the screen. And so because it was on such large needles and because it was a slipover, I was like, I'm going to make this so fast. And so then I went to cast it on and do a swatch and like test this new herringbone stitch, which I've never done. And realized that it's actually essentially stranded colorwork. You know, you're using two yarns at once as you go across, and you're also purling in the colorwork as well, which I've never done before. So and for me, when I do colorwork, I hold 1 yarn in each hand. So I do, I throw with one side and I pick with the other, our English and continental styles. So I can knit continental, English is my normal style. So with continental, I only know how to knit because in colorwork, I've only ever done knitting, so I've never learned how to purl in colorwork. I mean, I figure out the mechanics of it. So this was me both learning how to purl in colorwork for the first time with 12 millimeter needles while doing English style with another yarn, while holding like a fluffy fluff yarn double. So there's a lot of things to learn. So I've just done that little bit. I am excited about it, and I love the colors. Like they're so, because it was neons and neutrals, like I wanted to go like super bright neon blue, and I do want the final finished project. But I'm gonna pick it back up, test the stitch again, and I want to try Norwegian purling for purling continental, because I've watched a few videos of it, and it seems, I don't know, a little bit more intuitive to my brain. So I am excited to try that. So this will be hopefully coming down the line. I think once I get the hang of it, because it's on 12 millimeter needles, it's going to go super quick. Because I think I'm pretty sure it's done flat. You do the front and back flat and then seam them up and pick up the sleeves and the V-neck. So totally manageable, and a really, really exciting, fun, different because I've never done the herringbone stitch and it barely looks like knitting. So it's like a completely different fabric to me. So I'm very, very excited about that. But will take a bit of brain power to learn how to Norwegian purl as I go. And obviously I want to learn how to Norwegian purl kind of on a swatch separately so I can really get the hang of it, so that I don't have gauge issues. Because, you know, if I'm learning how to do it, say on the front panel, and it's all a bit like funny gauge, and then I hit my stride halfway through it, my front will be 2 different gauges and my back will be a different gauge, you know. So it will, I'm excited about the project. I want to do it. I love the yarn. I love my color choices. I love the pattern. It just requires a little bit of brain power and strength and work to get the ball rolling on that. But I'm excited to do it. And other plan, where is it? One more plan to share with you. I went to Beautiful Knitters I took a week off and then went again the following week. So I went and I got some more knitting for Olive, because they're knitting for Olive stockist. And this time I got the cotton merino. And this color is nut brown. And I got this because I had seen where, you know, it was in summer knit vibe, which I'm still in summer knit vibes. And I wanted to make another t-shirt this year. Last year I made the rib lace raglan. And so this year I wanted to make another t-shirt, but kind of a more like larger fit, relaxed fit, chill one that you can just kind of throw on, not so like fitted like the rib lace raglan was for me. And so I saw this pattern, which was the Air Tee by Ozetta. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. I like the look of that. And then Mel made one on her latest episode of her podcast. And then I was like, well, done. If Mel's made it and she liked it and it looks great on her, then I'm going to make it. So I went out and got this yarn for that. This is the cotton merino. This is 70% cotton, 30% merino, which I've used before. And so for a kind of an oversized tee style fit, I thought this would be great. And it's a different kind of, this neutral colorway is a little bit different for me. So I'm very excited about that. So that's my other plan. I have received other, not received, I've bought myself other yarns since we last spoke, but I don't really, I think I'll only share it when I'm actually making a project with it. If you really do like seeing the stuff I've bought, I can, but we'll keep things moving and just talk about stuff that's actually in use and moving. So the last thing I want to do is show you the tiniest little preview. I did say in the previous episode that I wanted to make a pattern for you, and I still want to do that, and I have been working on it. The pattern itself like is all done kind of mentally, and I have cast it on, and I do want to give you the tiniest preview of it. It will be a hat. And the plan is, so I will never ever do a giveaway. I will never do that. It is not something I really believe in. I just don't see the point in rewarding one person for being a loyal viewer and not rewarding everyone. So the plan is to make this hat pattern when we hit, hopefully, off the back of this episode, maybe we can hit the goal of 9,000 subscribers, and then that will mean that I can release a test knit for it for the couple of sizes that I want to do. And then when we hit 10, I will release the pattern with a hopefully fully discounted, if I'm allowed to do that on Ravelry, a fully discounted code, so I can give out the pattern for free to my subscribers and then have it for sale on if people want to buy it, but I want only the discount to be on video, so it's only if you watch it that will you get the discount or the free pattern. And so I've cast it on. This is the beginning of the hat. It's super simple, but it's very my style. Very excited about it, and this is made with the raw wool as well. I do have plans for a second sample with color changing yarn. So here we go. We're going to do super quick, you know, tell me what you think, but this is the start of it. So it is color work, but it's like a grid pattern because I'm a geometrical grid kind of guy. This is the kind of paper I like to write on. And so the plan is to do this as a folded over brim of a hat, but I think it's really fun and really cool and really different, and I want to do something else for the actual crown of the hat. So it won't be all over color work, only the brim of the hat will be color work, and it's really simple color work as well. And I just love the colors of this yarn. But I just wanted to show you that I'm working on it. I'm really excited about this. I'm really enjoying working on it. So I hope to get the actual first sample done maybe in the next week. And then we can, you know, I'll grade it for a couple of sizes and we can get a test knit going here on the channel. And then once we hit that next milestone, we will release it. And those of you who follow, who enjoy, who've been part of this little community and made me feel so special, will get a special gift back from me. And anyone else who isn't part of the community can just buy it on Ravelry. But that's the plan. I hope you like it. I think it's going to be really fun and really cute. So, oh, and it's going to be called the Brusca, B-O-S-C-A, which is Irish for box. So it's going to be the Brusca hat. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. And this has just like really motivated me to kind of get this little design done. It's my first, hopefully it will be my first actual published design. I have one other design, as you know, if you've been following, and then I have another design on the needles. I have lots of designs on the way, but I just want to like dip my toe in with this as a way of learning and also giving back to you guys who watch and comment and subscribe and make me motivate me to actually do this and share, because my goal is always to make sure that people don't feel lonely. I just want to keep people company with their knitting for a little while. So this is for you. So I'll keep working on it, get it done, get it written up, get all those things organized, and hopefully we can have a little hat pattern going. So that's the last thing that's technically on my needles, my little Brusca hat. It'll look more like a hat next time you see me, of course, but I wanted to let you know that it is going. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting for me to come back around. The break was good for me. It was an unintentional break. I just, you know, followed the joy of what I wanted to make and enjoyed my making time, rather than feeling pressure or a responsibility, because I know none of you would want me to feel that. So I took that away and just followed the joy, and now I'm feeling really, really motivated to post a bit more. I'm gonna try and go for like once a month and keep you updated on what's going on with me. There also is Instagram if you want to follow me there. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Tell me what's bringing you joy with your knitting at the moment, what you're working on, how you've been, all those kinds of things. I read every single comment and try to get back as many as I can, so please do all that good stuff. Doing all that good stuff means more people get served this video, and then we can get to that nice milestone and all get a free hat pattern. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. But I hope you're well, I hope you're happy, and I hope your making is bringing you joy, because it's beautiful and wonderful. And please take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon. Bye! Yeah, that's definitely yarn on the mat.